So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is the Mr. Media Interview, brought to you today by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook at www.audiblepodcast.com/mrmedia. You'll find more than 75,000 titles to choose from for your iPod or MP3 player at audiblepodcast.com/mrmedia, mrmedia. So where was I before the commercial? Of course, Mr. Media is recorded live from the world's new media capital and hometown of actors Angela Bassett, Patrick Wilson, and Monica Raymond, St. Petersburg, Florida.
Beautiful. I love that. I love it.
Sorry. Where did you get that song? Who's that? Do you know?
I don't. I'll take care of it, though.
Sorry.
Can I help you?
I was just, I didn't want to interrupt, but I was wondering where did she get that song from that she just sang?
You seem upset.
Yeah. It's a long story, but can I sit down?
Yeah, please, come sit down here for a minute. You know Helen, or are you just a fan of hers?
No, I mean, I don't...
What's the matter? It's okay, calm down. How's that? So, can I get you something, some water or something?
She's really good.
Oh, yeah?
She's really fantastic. And I'm really sorry I walked in on the rehearsal. I know
It's okay. Are you a friend of Helen's or just a fan?
God, she's amazing. It's just, I don't really know. Do you know that last song?
The last song?
Yeah, do you know where she got it from?
Well...
Do you know who wrote it? Do you know...
I know all her songs. I'm her manager. Why?
That's my song. It's my song.
Your song?
Yes, the lyrics are my song. It is my song.
How's that?
Well, because my father wrote it for me.
Okay.
He alone, he and I together. Nobody ever heard it except for me and him. And it's my song, and I want to know how she knows it.
All right, calm down. In Time Forever will be.
Yes, In Time Forever.
If you're a woman in search of someone else's emotional train wreck to make you feel better about your own life, film director Henry Jaglom has got a movie or two for you. Maybe it's his latest, Irene in Time, which we just heard a clip from, about a young singer with severe daddy abandonment issues. Or maybe you'd like his previous film, 2008's Hollywood Dreams, about a would-be actress who oozes charisma but gets so nervous in every social situation that she makes you nervous watching her. Tanna Frederick is the common thread between these films. She's the star of both, a big presence on screen. Now, it could be that huge mane of cascading red hair, but I think it's actually the emotions that just pour very naturally out from her. Now, the story of how she got to this point is pure Hollywood, and I hope to entice her to tell it, but suffice to say that Jaglom already has plans for her to star in a sequel to Hollywood Dreams, and she's currently appearing live in a Jaglom play just 45 minutes from Broadway at the Edgemar Center for the Arts in Santa Monica, California. And you can order tickets online to see her at www.edgemar, that's EDGEMAR, edgemar.org. That having said, Tanna, welcome to Mr. Media.
Hi, thanks so much for having me on the show.
My pleasure. Glad to have you here. How are you?
I'm great. That was a great intro. I love the line about making yourself feel better by what was your line? It was a great quote. That should be like on the title of like one of Henry's movies. It was brilliant.
From your mouth to his ears. There you go. Was it unkind of me to refer to some of these characters, these two in particular, as kind of train wrecks?
No, absolutely not. I mean, the thing that I like about Henry's films, and that I think that a lot of people like, because with Jaglom, it's kind of it's interesting because people either love his films or they hate his films. There's not really an in between, and for the people who love his films, I think what they get from it is a sense of relief. You know what I mean? Because Henry takes all of his, as an actor acting in his films, you know, Henry kind of demands that the actors take all of their subtext of what's going on and use it as their leading through line, as their dialogue, basically. And so that's your shining color as these characters. But I think, you know, kind of you walk away after watching Henry's films feeling better about yourself, hopefully, if you're not freaked out by the characters, you're maybe thinking, wow, okay, so I guess I'm not the only one who can be neurotic at times, you know. And I think Henry, you know, his reputation in Hollywood, sometimes he's known to be a bear, but sometimes he's known to be a really underneath, he's a very sweet man, and I think he likes, what drives him is not feeling, is making people not feel alone. Is making people feel like it's okay to feel the way that they feel, and they're not, you know, quote unquote crazy because they feel that way. It's human emotion, and everybody shares those emotions, you know, on some level. So, I mean, they're train wrecks of sorts, you know. They are definitely high pitched, neurotic women, but I'd like to think that underneath, even though a lot of people maybe not be so forthcoming with their emotions or with their feelings or thoughts, sometimes women do feel that way. And not just women, but men as well, you know, in Hollywood Dreams and stuff.
Well, do you ever worry, I mean, playing like these two particular characters, and of course Margie in Hollywood Dreams, you're playing her again. Do you ever worry that people will get confused, as some people do, between the character and the actor and think, oh, Tanna must be just like that?
Are you kidding me? I think as an actress, if you want to know the truth, I think I did the most difficult thing that you could possibly do in Hollywood, which was to have my first starring role in a Jaglom film, because people, his films are synonymous with improvisation, you know, and so most people come to his films assuming that there's a certain amount of real dialogue, real material, or real personality used in these films. And then in the age of you know, the OC and New Jersey Housewives or whatever there is, you know, there's just, people are, you know, Henry's films are filmed kind of messy, documentary style. So it's almost like you're watching reality TV. And I traveled around to film festivals. The first year with Hollywood Dreams, I would walk out of the screening room, and men would literally look at me and jump back 3 feet. And then I had to, like, really be nice to them. I'm like, well, you know, I was playing a character. It's a heightened version of myself. It's okay. You know, but I swear to God, every single place I went to. And luckily, you know, Irene in Time was turned down. The character was a little bit turned down to a certain degree, but you know, that's been really tough, because people just don't. I think that there's so many actors now, or characters, who are playing people who are playing them so close to themselves, and there's not a lot of really broad strokes, a lot of broad character work being done now. And so a lot of times when you watch film, it's kind of what you see is what you get, you know, in person. And, you know, it's not like the 40s where you watch Betty Davis and in Little Foxes and you know, she's not, and you just anticipate that she's crafted this incredible character. It's just not like that anymore. You just kind of assume, oh yeah, the person's like that, you know, and so that's been very difficult.
I laughed really hard when you said that, you know, after screening you'd come out and men would jump back seeing you after seeing the movie, because I think I watched Irene first and then Hollywood Dreams, and I recognize this woman as someone I probably dated a couple different times. Different people.
That is the exact line, you know, that every guy said too.
Scary.
They're like, I dated you.
Yeah.
and I dumped you very fast.
That was the next thing I was going to say. Yeah, it was, and I loved the thing. I think I may have loved this the best. I thought this was the best part of Irene was her recognizing that these guys are dropping her and possibly getting the reason, but not able to really help herself out. And I thought, I have definitely been out once or twice, out of college, with that woman and that woman. I know her.
Oh,
man.
Oh God.
I mean, is there a happy ever after for Irene, do you think?
For Irene, well, that's kind of left up to interpretation. I mean, she symbolically or actually, or however your brain chooses to take it, reunites with her father at the end. So I'm not quite sure. It's the whole, if you see the glass is half full or half empty type deal. Henry left the ending open to interpretation, but Hollywood Dreams sequel, Queen of the Lot, which is coming out in September, which I love. I love the character of Margie Cheesick. I mean, I think I loved playing her. I loved continuing her story. It's she's a new Eve Harrington, and it's so fun. And Noah Wiley co-stars in the film with me, along with a great cast of Catherine Crosby, who's being Crosby's wife, and Mary Crosby. And again, we bring David Proval, Jack Heller, Diane Salinger, Chris Rydell, a great cast into the mix. And I have to see. I'll do a spoiler here. There is a happy ending because I kind of demanded it with Henry. I'm like, it's the first two films I did with you. I'm like dead or insane. So could we maybe have a nice happy ending for one? Just one.
He played along.
So yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. And in the play that we're doing right now, just 45 minutes from Broadway, which has been really great because Henry is really known for being very avant-garde and very, his style is very different, very messy, very nonlinear. However, I was kind of able to pin him down to writing a linear play this year, and he's a brilliant playwright. I mean, it seems he's incredibly very Chekhovian mixed with Capra in a way. And this play that we're doing, You Can't Take It With You, is all about a family, a Yiddish theater family, and it's the beautiful age-old conflict of between artists and civilians. So it's very You Can't Take It With You, and it does have a happy ending with a civilian and an artist actually falling in love and being able to stay together, and by civilian I mean people who aren't in the arts, but it's great, and we're turning that into a film as well. We're going to be filming that in October, so there's a lot of good stuff coming up.
Well, I want to talk to you a bit in a minute about your relationship with Henry Jaglom and how, I mean, you're obviously his go-to star these days. But first, before we talk any more about Margie, I want to play. This is from the beginning of Hollywood Dreams. For people who haven't seen it, this will give you a sense of the character, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit. Just give a listen to this from the start of Hollywood Dreams.
Nice.
Cheesick, Margie Cheesick. That's you.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Hi.
What's the matter?
Sorry, I'm really nervous right now.
What's the matter?
I'm just nervous.
Where do you come from?
The beach?
The beach gets you nervous?
No, I was trying to lie on the beach so that I could relax when I came here, but I have so many problems. I just can't seem to relax ever when I go to any audition ever. And all I want to do is act and be an actress. But it's no use. You can't even relax, right? Sorry, that's too much information. You didn't need to know all that.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So fill us in a little bit. How this? You're going to. You've done 3 movies now with him and a play, and the play is going to become the 4th movie. How do you develop a relationship like that with a director? How did that start?
Well, I wrote Jaglom a letter. I was in a play and waiting tables in Los Angeles at about 3 different restaurants, and doing whatever I could to exist and pay rent. And this guy in the play came to rehearsal and said, I just did a day's work on a Henry Jaglom film. He's the most brilliant director in the world. And I was like, hey, how'd you do that? And how can I do that? I was just trying anything to get my foot in the door. And he said, well, he's a sucker for anybody who writes him letters about how great his work is. So I ran home that night, and being freshly, graduated valedictorian of my class at University of Iowa, I wrote him a 3-page single-spaced letter about how brilliant his film Deja Vu was. And then the next day, hand delivered it to his office. And then that day, got a call from him. He loved the letter, and he was impressed by, my words and my description of his films. And so he invited me to a screening of a festival in Cannes. And so after that, we just hit it off, and he gave me a play, called A Safe Place, which was his first film with Tuesday Weld and Jack Nicholson. But he had written it as a play and done it in front of Harold Clurman at the Actors Studio, workshopped it with Clurman and with Lee Strasberg. And he said, why don't you take this and just do this as a scene for an acting class? And I was like, really? Well, if I get the rights, can I do the whole thing? And he kind of laughed, and said, sure, why not? It had never been done as a play. So I thought, man, this is gold. I can do something with a Henry Jaglom play. Has never been done in Los Angeles. I can find a theater for this, no problem. And I did. I found a theater. I produced a play, starred myself in it, and then Henry came to every single show and then ended up offering me Hollywood Dreams. So it all started with that wonderful letter. But then the kind of funny Hollywood hustler part of the story is that when I had written him the letter about Deja Vu, I had never actually seen that film or any of his films. and then I was terrified, of course. I did not tell him that until we had made 3 films together and done 2 plays together, because I thought, he'd be horrified. But Henry is a cool guy, and he was like, well, that's just fantastic. That's just what actors need to be doing in this town.
Did he go back and reread the letter to see why he didn't catch that the first time?
No, and I think, I tried to look for the letter too, because I think it was on a really trashed out laptop that I had gotten from Goodwill or something, but I couldn't find it. But it was it was a pretty good letter, I have to say, what I remember from it.
Well, and he in Hollywood Dreams, I mean, he surrounded you with talent. Justin Kirk, who's big on Weeds, Melissa Leo, who was later nominated for the Academy Award, and both of them, I'd point out, precede you on Mr. Media. They've both been on the show. David Proval from The Sopranos, and Karen Black, who also pops up in Irene in Time. And first big movie like that, big opportunity. What did you learn from that experience, being around all these people?
Man, it was terrifying. I mean, I was just like a pig, and it was just like, I mean, on one hand I felt really confident because, people always say out here, the whole old adage, you have to pay your dues. Well, I think that the reason that you have to sort of pay your dues and really go as low as you can possibly go and beg and plead for people to get you work is because by the time you get it, you feel like, man, I friggin' deserve this. I've been hustling for 6 years, and this is my time to shine, and I'll be darned if I'm not going to take it, And so, on one hand, I kind of felt that sense of, deserving it, and on the other hand, I really felt, I had developed the character with Henry, because he always likes to start his characters from scratch, and he'll write the script, based on the person that he knows. Only, you know, it was me times 20, or it was actors that he put in scenes of actors that he had known and seen, you know, situations I had roommates go through. We put into the thing. You know, it was about struggling actors. So I really knew the material incredibly well, and I knew the character inside out. And it was a year preparation. You don't usually get that much preparation to for a character, and so I was just living this sort of Margie character day in and day out, not acting crazy, of course, day in and day out, but objectively, you know, having a lot of fun creating it, getting ideas for her, developing her, watching, 1 to 4 films from the 1940s a day. I literally did that for a year. So by the time I was stuck into the middle of 30 brilliant actors who had been, you know, doing hit big blockbuster films or working for the last 50 years, I felt I could hold my own. You know, I felt this is cool. I felt good. Which nobody's asked me that before, so that's a really good question. Because it was, now that I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, you know, and I guess if I had gotten a part like that first coming out here, I don't think I would have been able to play that character as fully. I think I would have held back a lot and self-centered or censored myself a lot. But because you stay out here and you work really hard, I just went for it with her, and working with and plus everybody is so nice on a Henry film. It's, you know, it's like Altman, I guess, or from what I've heard, or it's like it's like a Woody Allen film. People come in and they've already made 7 to 10 films of Henry, and they're ready to go, and they're ready to have fun. And his sets are really fun. They're terrifying, but they're a lot of fun once you just kind of jump off and let go. And so it was really a delicious experience. I feel very, very, very lucky, because I think I can't see how any experience could be as freeing for an actor as working on that one of Henry's films. And to be able to experience that now 4 times and getting ready to do a 5th is like the best, you know, it's the best thing I could possibly have dreamed up in my mind.
Well, I want to play. I have one more clip, and if we haven't gotten people to go out and get these movies yet, I'm hoping this will do it. This is Tanna Frederick in Hollywood Dreams. She's Margie Chizik, and she wanders onto a movie set. So give a listen to this, and we'll come back and talk for just another minute with Tanna. Give a listen.
Are you kids making a movie? Hi. Are you making a movie? Cut. What? Oh, yeah. Do you need the part for a grown-up? I can play a really good grown-up. Zoe, the director. Hi, I'm Margie Chizik. I'm an actress.
Sure. Okay. You can be his nanny.
Okay.
Get behind him. Come over here. Okay. Give him a push and just start talking to him about trying to make him eat something or rest or something.
Okay.
And you just don't want to stop. You want to keep playing. Okay.
Okay.
Smile though. Like, don't frown, but don't be really happy. Okay.
Okay.
Try to. Okay. Action.
I really need you to quit singing. Swinging. Sorry.
Cut.
Was that good?
Don't say sorry to me. You don't want him to have the advantage on you, so he says, "Oh, she's weak." You just want to be pushy and bossy, but you don't want to be mean because you don't want to lose your job. It's a new job.
To be really nice.
Right, but still be sort of a little bossy, okay?
A little boss. Okay, so just more forceful, but not.
Yeah, and don't say sorry to me. And if you mess up, it's okay. Just keep going.
Okay.
Okay. That was good though.
Okay.
Okay. Action.
Are you ready for your bath?
No way.
I think you need to come in and take your bath now.
I'm clean.
No, you're not clean. I can see the dirt on the back of your neck.
No way.
Don't talk back to me, young man.
Cut.
So I was just improvising.
Yeah.
No, we call it improvising.
I know it's called, but just don't do it. But you can improvise. Of course, you don't have a script.
You don't want me to create like a character history between me and us?
Well, to a certain extent, you can improvise, just not way beyond. Relax. Okay,
relax. But you should always be nice to the other actors. That's something.
And the director. Okay, we're gonna start again. Action. She's really boring. Can't I just swing without? It's not boring. I don't understand this direction that you're giving me. It's really confusing me because it keeps talking over my lines. No. I'm sorry. Holly, maybe you could step in and be the nanny now. Sorry, miss. This isn't really working for this our movie, which it's a school project. And sorry, it's not really working out. Okay.
That's just, oh my God. She got kicked off the Sandlot. My God, poor woman.
I love the clips you pick. That's so great. Okay, so if you want to know how Henry sounds on a film set,
yeah,
the young woman in that is Henry's daughter at 11. She's 18 now, but Henry's put Sabrina in every single one of his films, so she sounds exactly like Henry sounds. Awesome. Except Henry's a little bit more edgy and a little bit crueler, but Sabrina was great. I mean, she mirrored her father exactly, saying, "Don't say sorry to me," and if I say stop, like, don't stop talking. And it was, oh my God, I love that scene. People loved that scene. I think it's just. And that was my favorite scene in the film, because it's so pathetic. And when we were thinking of it, we're like, well, okay, what's the most humiliating, debasing situation an actor can get into? So in this scene, Margie's been kicked out of her apartment. She's walking around with her belongings and her clothes, and she comes on these kids in a park, because we're thinking, well, maybe, she went out for a USC film and then didn't get it. And Henry was like, no, better yet. It's a group of kids, and they're filming a school project. And then we both started screaming with laughter, and then cast his son and his daughter to play the director of the film. And man, Sabrina just has her dad's talent of just crushing an individual. But it was so fun. She's a sweet girl. She's actually going to be a fantastic director. She's won Best Student Film now at Woodstock and a couple other festivals, and she just got accepted into Tisch, early accepted. It's at NYU, so that's where she's headed next year. But I love that you picked that. It's it's just terrifying.
Well, we're just about out of time, so folks, listen, you can order the DVDs for Tanna Frederick's first two films with director Henry Jaglom. That's Irene in Time and Hollywood Dreams. At MrMedia.com or, of course, Amazon.com. And watch for her in the Hollywood Dreams sequel, Queen of the Lot, which co-stars Noah Weil. And she's currently appearing in a Jaglom play just 45 minutes from Broadway. That's the name of the play. That's at the Edgemar Center for the Arts in Santa Monica, California. And you can order tickets online for that at www.edgemar.org. And keep up on Tanna's career at her website, www.tanna, that's Tanna, Frederick.com. Tanna, a lot of fun having you on the show today. Really enjoyed it.
You too. Thank you so much. I loved the clips you chose. That was fantastic.
Appreciate that. And good luck. Come back and talk to us again sometime.
I would love to. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And for more interviews with your favorite TV and film stars, you can surf over to our main website, www.mrmedia.com. That's where you can listen to my earlier conversations with Kirk Douglas, Billy Bob Thornton, Ted Ramey, Nathan Fillion, Christian Slater, Alicia Cuthbert, Ali Sheedy, and many more. And please take advantage of this great offer for Mr. Media radio listeners. Go to www.audiblepodcast.com/mrmedia to get a free audiobook download of your choice when you sign up today. Again, that's www.audiblepodcast.com/mrmedia for your free audiobook. Subscribe to Mr. Media on iTunes and you'll never miss a show. Just search Mr. Media Interviews from within iTunes and subscribe for free. You can also listen with a piece of string and a tin can in many locations. If you've got an idea for a guest, email me directly at bob@andelman.com. You can also follow me on Facebook or on Twitter, www.twitter.com/Andelman or facebook.com/Andelman. Thanks so much for joining us today. Always appreciate when you give up a piece of your day and come spend it with us. Thanks for listening, everybody.